The content of this podcast is provided for general informational purposes only and is not intended as, nor should it be considered a substitute for professional medical advice. Hello, this is Karen Nickel, family nurse practitioner, and you are listening to Itchy and Bitchy, a podcast that provides answers to your many unanswered health questions. Lately, my anxiety and stress levels have been rising as world events grow increasingly chaotic and tragic. I don't need to list everything happening. You probably are all too aware. Many of us have started avoiding the news just to protect our peace of mind, and I've found myself doing the same. A listener recently suggested that this would be the perfect moment to rerun our November 2024 episode called How to Reset Distress to Peace and Joy. Given that global divisions seem to have only deepened since then, I couldn't agree more. It feels like exactly the reminder we all need right now. I know I do, and I hope it brings you some comfort and calm too. Here's the episode. It is a stressful time in the U.S. for many of us with our recent election battles and living in a country divided. I know I need to remember ways to lessen my distress and thought, my listeners can also benefit from some tips to reduce the distress you may be feeling. I know that not all of my listeners are U.S. residents, but I'm sure this episode will be helpful for you as well. I'm going to share some easy, tangible ways to help you rather than just providing the advice to reduce stress. I'm doing air quotes on that. Reduce stress. I am guilty of using this generalized statement, I know. So I'm going to talk about some concrete measures we can all take. These exercises, which are a form of grounding techniques, may help you refocus on the present moment to distract yourself from anxious feelings. Grounding techniques can be used to provide distancing from distressing feelings, including anxiety, depression, and stress. They can also improve mood and a sense of well-being, as well as reduce PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and dissociation symptoms. Grounding techniques use tools such as visualization and senses, including sight, hearing, taste, and smell, to help distract you from negative feelings and thoughts. They help you return to the present moment. During a panic attack or traumatic flashback, your emotions can take over your thoughts and physical responses, and pulling you out of that and bringing you back to the present using grounding techniques can help interrupt your body's response and return your brain and your feelings back to a place of peace and safety. We have both physical and mental grounding techniques, and I'm going to review both, but I'm going to start with those physical techniques. Again, these are simple things that can really work. You may want to do this first one over a sink. Hold a piece of ice in your hand or hands and observe it as it melts. Ask yourself questions like, what does it feel like when I first hold this? Or how does the sensation change as it's melting? How long do I have to hold it before it starts melting? Just take in very detailed observations of this ice cube melting in your hand. Also, take time to savor a food, a favorite food, or a favorite drink. Take small bites or sips and focus on the flavors and how it tastes or smells. What flavors linger after the bite or the sip? A fun way to experience this is to do a blind taste test game with a friend or family member. See if you can tell the difference between different brands of peanut butter or juice. What are the differences in texture, sweetness, saltiness, and so forth? Engage your sense of touch by picking up items around you and notice their texture, shape, color, and weight. A lot of these are all about being intentional about the things around you. Be aware and intentional about the things around you. You can take a short walk. Be mindful of your steps. You can even count your steps. Note the rhythm of your steps. I took a walk this morning. It is an unusually warm November day, and I took the time to marvel at the azaleas that are still in bloom. It's true. Azaleas in November. I also enjoyed soaking up some sun. I use sunscreen, people, and noticing the lovely difference between walking in the warm sun and moving through the cool shade. Take a moment to put your hands in water. Pay attention to the water's temperature. How does the water feel on your fingertips, palms, and the backs of your hands? Does it feel the same in each part of your hand? Change up the temperatures. Use warm water first, then cold. After that, you can try cold water first, then warm. And what differences do you notice when changing the order? Do some movements with your body. You can do jumping jacks, jump rope, stretch, jog in place. What does your body feel like when you do this? Note the rhythm of the movement. If you're jumping rope, pay attention to the sound of the rope hitting the floor. Stretching really helps me be more aware of all my muscles and takes me out of my head. And I really notice which ones need a little more attention and care. And today, that would definitely be my neck muscles. Listen to the sounds around you. Is the wind rustling through the trees? Do you hear birds singing? Traffic noise? Planes overhead? I'm trying to be more mindful of the sounds around me other than the ear-splitting sound of my husband making a smoothie every morning with his amazingly loud blender. Breathe in a fragrance that you love. It could be a spice, a lotion, a cup of tea, scented candle, or oil. Savor the scent and think about the qualities it has. Is it sweet, spicy, crisp, fresh? Take deep breaths and feel the air moving in and out of your body. Feel that deep breath moving your belly, and then feel the air moving out of your body. Just be aware of that and pay attention to that. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method is one that allows you to use your senses while you're on that short walk or wherever you are. You start with listing 5 things you hear. So 5 things you hear, then 4 things you see, followed by 3 things you can touch near you, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Also, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method sounds a little bit like 12 Days of Christmas, which that could be a distraction technique for you too if you can remember all the words. Up next are mental grounding techniques to lower your feelings of distress. Back in a minute, so stay with me. Okay, let's talk about the mental grounding methods you can use to relieve your anxiety and worries. These techniques can mentally distract you, which helps move your thoughts away from distressing feelings. I'll start with my favorite one, laughing. Do something that makes you laugh. As most, if not all of you know, this podcast was hosted originally by me and Leanne Morgan, who is a very, very funny lady. To have a good laugh, pull up one of her many online videos, and that will do the trick, I can guarantee it. Or you can pull up a funny animal video on YouTube or Instagram. Read a funny story or watch a TV comedy. So many choices to get you laughing. I think laughter is one of our most powerful ways to heal ourselves. Although I was always serious about providing the best care I could to my patients, I infused humor in nearly every patient appointment, and so many times patients would tell me that they always felt better after the appointment than they did when they arrived. It really, really works. Recite the words to a song or poem or passage in a book. Be intentional about the recitation. Notice how the words feel in your mouth as you say them. If you have it memorized, visualize the words as you say them. Pay attention to the rhythm of each sentence or phrase. Use a technique called anchoring. This involves establishing a reference point to return to if you start having mood changes like anxiety. Anchoring can be done in several different ways. First is a visual anchor, which can be external or internal. An external anchor is something that is readily available to you to see when needed, like a locket you wear daily or a picture you have in your wallet. An internal visual anchor involves mentally visualizing a place or scene that you recall as peaceful and calm. You can use an auditory anchor when you experience distress. An external example of this type of anchor is whistling or singing to relieve stress. I personally have about a 5-note whistling range, so it's not a great option for me, but I will sing versus whistle. But whatever you want to do is good. Repeating in your mind words like, I am calm, I am relaxed, is an example of an internal auditory anchor. Using your sense of touch is a kinesthetic anchor. You can use a worry stone, which is a smooth, indented stone, or a fidget toy. Either can be kept in your pocket or purse. Consider using a worry stone of clear quartz, which is famously known as a master healer, or black obsidian, which is used to remove negativity. Smell is our most powerful sense, and using your sense of smell is an excellent mental anchoring technique. For example, you can choose an essential oil that has a fragrance you love and put it on a handkerchief or small cloth and smell the fragrance when you experience distress or anxiety. There are also nasal inhalers available for purchase that look sort of like a chapstick and come in several different fragrances like melon, cinnamon, and tropical scents. You can also use your sense of taste as an anchor. Pick a flavored mint or gum that you associate with a calm state to pop into your mouth when you begin to experience a dark mood. My grandmother always had clove gum in her house. And to this day, when I chew a piece of clove gum, which is not very often, it's not easy to get, I get a sense of calm and joy, and I recall fond memories of my grandmother. Another anchoring method is to sit with your pet as a grounding technique. If you're not at home, you can visualize your pet and think of ways they comfort you. Being with animals is so effective in reducing stress that many airports now use them to reduce the stress that travelers experience. Stress relief is provided at a Kentucky airport using a miniature horse therapy program. Yes, indeed. Passengers are greeted by a therapy miniature horse, providing stress relief to weary travelers. I live near Kentucky, so it's unlikely I will fly through Kentucky, but I'm tempted to go to that airport just to see the miniature horses. The Portland, Oregon airport is using llamas and alpacas for stress relief at its terminals. Therapy animals are becoming more and more popular in airports across the country and can even include farm animals. Another technique is to list some of your favorite things. Rodgers and Hammerstein had it right when they composed the song My Favorite Things in The Sound of Music. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. You know the rest. You don't have to set your list of favorite things to music, but think of 3 of your favorite things from several different categories like foods, books, places, and so forth. Listening to music is a very effective way to ease your mind and spirit. As you are listening to some of your favorite music, listen as though you are hearing it for the first time and note the things that stand out to you and make it special for you. I'll end with this one. Practice being kind to yourself. think of compassionate things to say to yourself, like, it's a tough time for me right now, but I'll make it through this. Or, you're a strong person. You will get beyond this painful time. Or simply, I am enough. I am enough. One of the things I am going to do in my moments of stress is to think of all of you terrific listeners listening to the Itchy and Bitchy podcast in your car, in your home, or on a walk. What a wonderful family I have in you. Thank you for listening to and for sharing the podcast with others. Wherever you listen to this podcast, please leave a review and rate the podcast. Your reviews and ratings do matter. I encourage you to visit our Facebook page, IMB Podcast, where you can leave comments or questions for me. Our website is itchyandbitchy.com, where there are blogs with some of our subjects available for you to read. As always, thanks to Forrest Wenzel, our producer and composer of our theme music, and the person who's always there and does all the behind-the-scenes work to make this podcast possible. Thank you, Forrest. Forrest continues to thrive at Peabody Music Conservatory and is in the middle of his final semester of the master's program. If you want to listen to what he's creating, you can go to his website, forrestwenzel.com, forrestwentzel.com. Remember that your health is in your hands.